Good morning and welcome. This is Pastor Lucy Paynter with your daily insight. As we continue to discuss about mentorship, I want us to focus on observation as a form of learning. One of the ways that many people learn to do things is by observation. Observation starts when we are young, when the child is really tiny and of those toddler years. They learn to do things from the grown-ups or from the role models around them through observation. If you have a young kid, you'll note that they tend to do some things that you didn't tell them how to do, but they observed, they learned, they watched, and they knew how to do. That form of learning, the form of observation, continues all the way up to old age. Why do you think that there are things that people do and it seems like a trend or a norm? Why do some things go viral? It is because people observe and they copy and they do them. And marking that, I want you to remember about Elisha and Elijah. When Elisha was following Elijah, knowing well that he would be taken away, Elijah tried to tell him, no, you wait here. But he said, no, I'm going with you. And he said, if you see me go, then whatever you desire, you shall receive it. And they continued on the journey. When they went to River Jordan, Elisha was just observing what Elijah was doing. He took his mantle, struck the waters, and there was a way, and they passed to the other side of Jordan. When Elijah was taken away by the chariots of fire, then Elisha was left with the mantle. What did he do? He did what he had observed. He took that mantle, struck the waters of Jordan, and cried out, "Where is the God of my father?" And there was a way. That is just one example. But in life, even as I have seen people who are aspiring in the medical field or in any other field, there is this thing they call shadowing. You pick up somebody who you want to learn from and you shadow them. As they go about doing their work, you shadow them. You learn from them through observation. Now, the big question is, if there are people learning from us every day by observation, whether we know it or not, then that puts us on a higher mark that we need to be careful of what we are doing, because there are people who are observing. The Bible says in Hebrews 12 that seeing that we are surrounded by such a crowd of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sins that easily entangles us, anything that can hinder us from running the race that is set ahead of us. So as we just chop off those bad vibes, bad negative behavior, those bad vices, remember that as you go about your day-to-day life, there are people who are shadowing, there are people who are observing, there are people who are learning from you through observation. Nobody told me that this is how you start to preach, you start here and there. No. But mostly I learned through observation, because I started preaching when I was really young. I would sit in church and listen to my pastor preach, and the following day in school I would do what the pastor did through observation. But later on in years, I get to study and build capacity and expand the potential through learning. But the very basic of learning, the very basic of mentorship is observation. What are people observing from your day-to-day life? What are your children learning from you? What are the people around you learning from you? And what are you learning from others just through observation? May God bless you as we continue in this topic of mentorship. This is Pastor Lucy Paynter with your daily insight. Thank you.